So I know that you've dabbled in martial arts here and there. What brought that on?
Bruce Lee. Done. Next question. Yeah, no, my mom put me into Taekwondo when I was like 4 years old, and they didn't take 4-year-olds into Taekwondo, like at all. And I think the instructor was like, no, like, I think he could do this. Like, I think she was talking to him, and I was like off on the mats, like just kind of practicing whatever they were doing, and like I threw a kick out, and it was like kind of perfect for a little tiny 4-year-old in there. He was like, I think we can take him on. And so I started Taekwondo and quickly went from white to yellow to green, and then I stopped. But yeah, it was Bruce Lee and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and like I'm pretty sure I watched Van Damme movies at the age of like 5 and 6. Like any kind of action-y, kung fu, anything. Like yeah, I was all about it. Like, but it was specifically Bruce Lee because I mean, it's Bruce Lee. That's all you need to say. Like,
Is Bruce Lee or those movies the reason that you got interested in martial arts?
yeah, probably. I think it was specifically Bruce Lee's characters. I mean, he was always this tiny, skinny guy, but he didn't let that stop him. And I've always been vertically challenged, so I'm just saying, like, I connected, even at the age of like 5. So.
What kept you interested?
I think as I grew up, it became... Oh, and the Three Ninjas. I forgot about the Three Ninjas. But it became more about philosophy. It became more about the ideals behind martial arts and different styles, different techniques. And then I started to understand more of what Bruce Lee was doing, and he developed his own. And a few years ago I started to try and develop my own, but I just haven't spent much time on it. But his is called Jeet Kune Do, and it's the way of the intercepting fist. So if you're throwing a punch at me, I'm going to block, but then I'm going to strike back at the same time. And so that was his. And then he realized later on, too, that he went away from anything that would be kind of a style. And then he started to develop his own style. And he was like, that's kind of contradictory, because it's about being true to who you are in your body. It's about being one with yourself. And so what I think is easy, someone else might find difficult, and I could teach them, yes, but it may not be true for them. And so it's all about just flowing, being honest. He has a quote, martial arts is about honestly expressing yourself. So when you throw a punch, you are throwing a punch honestly. You are and throwing it and putting your chi into it, putting your energy behind it. But you are doing so not to show off, not to cause pain, but in defense, in self-defense. And just his philosophy on stuff like that, and how, like, I love water. Being around it, being in rivers, lakes, the ocean, whatever. And there's another quote he talks about in an interview where he says, you should be like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bowl, it becomes the bowl. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. Water can flow or it can crash, so be water. And water doesn't cut through rock because of its power, it cuts through rock because of its persistence. And that's something I took to heart much later on, but it got me even more into his movies and stuff. And so that's what I tried to do when I started trying to develop my martial arts, was like, how does my body work? What am I comfortable with? I've always been really comfortable with kicks. I've always been really good with my right side, but I need to develop something better. I need to develop balance. So.
What is the purpose of practicing martial arts or self-defense?
To me, martial arts is about learning to defend from the worst parts of yourself. The anger, the frustration. You are learning to accept that those are parts of you, and in doing so you're able to understand and respect that those are parts of other people. And so you're learning to defend against the worst parts of yourself and acknowledge those in other people. And so if you're in trouble and if someone's attacking you, you're not going to attack them to hurt them, you're going to attack them so that you can be okay and they can go and be okay at the same time. You want to just be good. You don't want to cause pain. Yeah, it's just that. It's the art of defending from all the bad pieces of you, accepting them, respecting them, and letting them be a part of you, not just neglecting them and letting them become something negative and bad.